Go.
0. I.
Episode 0.
Hey guys,
What is
welcome
up,
to the Unnamed
gamers?
podcast. I'm back! I'm back!
We
He's
brought
back.
Rishi back.
We found him.
We dug his grave up.
We found him.
We let him out of the cellar.
Yeah.
Yo, the
He was
way
just
he's
laying in his
died
grave, and he's like, "No,
before-
let me lay here." And we said no,
Like the fucking Undertaker rising from the coffin.
and just
Yeah.
grabs our neck.
He's back. We actually managed to half schedule one, so.
Yeah.
Thus, we are all here.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
all right.
episode 2. Who would have thought we got this far?
Yeah. This is
Episode 2, even though this is the third video that's
Third
been
video,
put out.
yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
2, nice.
We have,
Nice.
we have that prototype episode.
Yeah, episode
So,
0.
so for anybody wondering, the schedule is going to be an episode with me, an episode without me.
Yeah. We'll cycle.
Yeah.
Having too
No,
much
yeah.
Rishi in your life is a little too powerful. Yeah, you gotta dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
No, we just spin a wheel, and whoever it lands on just doesn't show up in the next episode.
Yeah, behind the scenes, guys, behind the scenes. So what's going on? What are we going to talk about? Oh.
There's a couple things. I know Kiefer said he wanted to talk about
I mean,
something.
it depends. Do we want to start off the bat? Like, do we want to start swinging? Because, like, what I'm going to talk about, like,
Start
eh,
racist.
All right, let's swing.
oh, if we're going to start racist, then,
All right, hold on.
Calm down. When
So, if you'll
let's
notice,
do dinner.
I'm actually... There is no gameplay footage in the background
Oh my
of
God.
this video.
Do we really have to talk about
yeah,
this?
we gotta talk about this.
No,
It's
so
topical.
important.
It's topical. This is what I wanted to talk about.
I
but-
want to just preface, it was kind of the popular opinion to not talk about it before we started this.
This is a lie.
I am not involved in any of what is going on. In fact, I have no idea what they're talking about right now.
So
Let's go for.
I don't know. This is just hilarious.
details
This is
to a
the
minimum,
funniest
please.
thing I think that has ever happened to me personally.
Okay.
I just want to say this. Yeah. So the reason why there is no gameplay footage in the background is because I got banned off of Warframe. For what should have been a 10-year ban turned into a 2-week ban. So the next episode of the podcast will probably have Warframe gameplay in the background.
Yeah, so you say.
So it doesn't.
But
Might be different.
might be different.
Let's talk with the
might not.
talk with the investors about that one. We have to give out the dividends after all.
Yeah, but I mean, long story short, I said a no word as a joke, and they caught me lacking. They caught me in 8K, so there is no Warframe gameplay.
I literally, every time this scenario is, like, talked about, I literally just imagine you two in full suits going into, like, Shark Tank. Right? And the entire lineup of sharks is just DE staff, and you guys are just breaking this shit down. And it's just you two with a big-ass billboard and shit, like, just explaining it.
We don't know who the other person is.
Bro, it's like fucking crack team negotiators. Like, we just negotiated a multi-billion-dollar deal, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. But I felt like it was topical because you're seeing just a Discord screen and 4 squares light up. But
Which, hey, look, we might keep.
we might keep.
Who
we might
knows?
not. We gotta
This man
figure
just
it
called
out.
us squares.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
They're more like
Anyway,
rounded rectangles. But so something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I don't know, I guess the viewers' input too on this is.
Oh, yeah.
I want your opinions on cancel culture.
he watched one video.
No. So the only reason that I'm saying this is because I've been doing a lot of like what Rishi would call a citizen of Discord. I've kind of just
yes.
I've kind of just
Yeah.
spent like a week and really just kind of like analyzed the internet really and about like how the internet makes money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And about like the people that are on the internet and how they make money and all that stuff, and like the people who like make careers out of being on the internet. I don't know.
They
I just
make
found it weird.
podcasts like
But
that.
one thing that I found extraordinarily interesting is how they end, right? And
Right.
specifically about
Yes.
cancel culture. So I want your opinions on cancel culture, like just in freeform style, just nothing in particular, but just like, what do you guys think about cancel culture?
Yeah, audience. Yeah, audience engagement.
I mean, I think the idea of it, Man, it's just gotten so shitty in recent times, though. Like, I feel like it may have started off fine because it's a good way to catch people lacking that like deserve it.
But it's not.
But then at the same time, it's going
now,
to people's
now
heads.
I will say there is I will hit you with a fun statistic at the end of this, but I just want to hear your opinions on it first.
Man, this
Please
is the
don't
second
say
episode
either.
where we talked about cancel culture.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not all bad because I mean, some of the people that they do cancel kind of do deserve it, like Johnny Depp's wife. You know,
Yeah, but
like sometimes they do deserve it.
No, but she still has a career. That's the thing, you know. At the end of the day, cancel culture is just another symptom of a mob mentality that's pretty dangerous and divisive. You know, because we end up just like opening up people's eyes to something that we or the mob thinks is disgusting. Yet, you know, not everybody thinks it's disgusting. Some people agree. Some people don't care. Some people end up becoming contrarians and are like, hey, I hate the mob, yeah, and then do something or like support something that most people would think is terrible. And like a lot of what comes with cancel culture is just nothing. It's just outrage for like 2 days, and then everybody forgets about it. And
Yeah,
maybe
that's
that
true.
loss of relevancy in people's minds is canceling, but not everybody forgets. A lot of people still like, because if they were already invested in that person, then they get canceled, right? They like stay invested in them. Not everybody moves on. So then there's just like this increased retention around these people who are deemed bad by the collective, who are still just going on, because it's like not everybody just leaves them. A lot of people don't care and are super just uninterested in like unsubscribing or blocking or ignoring them or whatever, that they just like stay there, and all you've done now is just bring this person to light when really they could have stayed small. But like cancel culture can blow people up. It's crazy. Controversy can blow people up. There's no such thing as bad PR. There really isn't. As long as there's attention on you, there's going to be people who end up following you. And, some people might be like, oh, you're disgusting. And other people might be like, well, I totally agree with you. So, we've seen it all the time, in politics, in media. So it's not really a surprise. It really isn't. Like, Keemstar is a really great example of this, right? The dude reports and he says terrible things about people all the time.
I think
Love that guy.
And
Yeah.
people adore him, It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I know, especially nowadays, it's just gotten it's really gotten out of hand. It's just, and it's funny because the thing with cancel culture is, a big idea behind it is just like, you just get numbers on you, right? Like, It's just like majority rules. That's the big thing on the internet, right? But the thing with cancel culture is I felt like at least there was some amount of brain cells behind it, because usually they would at least hit you with like some reason as to why they're canceling you, right? But I feel like if you take that and boil it down to like its most primal form, you have ratio, which is literally just more people are agreeing with me, so that just makes your shit irrelevant. Like that ratio is just, I feel like that's literally in its most primal form. It's like, yeah, I got more likes, so you're just irrelevant. It doesn't matter what the fuck you just said, even if it was intellectual. It doesn't matter. I got more likes.
The monkey shutdown.
At least with cancel culture, they would throw bullshit evidence at you. They don't even bother with ratio. It's just ratio.
ratio.
But they're fucking
It's like,
shitting out their mouth.
I disagree with you. More people disagree with you. ratio. Like, oh no.
And like it works. Sometimes it does. And that gets to people's head. It's like, oh, well, I'm not even gonna bother. Why would I bother Why would I bother writing a well thought out response when I can just be like, "Fuck you, ratio," and get 10 of my homies to dive in on this shit and make you irrelevant? It's horrible.
No matter what side people are on, if one has like 10 likes off the gate and the other one has like 2, they're gonna go for the 10 likes just because they want to be in. Like, it's so tragic how the monkey pile just fills.
It's
You want to be on the popular opinion.
Like the monkey pile was there before, but man, with this ratio shit, it doesn't get worse than this. I don't think it does.
Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of history, but your Twitter comments, they're not that deep. Okay.
Like, holy shit.
So Jackson, what about you, bro?
I think it really shows like who's like really a fan of you. Like if you get cancel culture and there's still people standing by you, it really shows like who really are your fans. Like, hey, this happened. It's like, okay, that's cool, but I still like them as a person, or like I like their content or whatever. So it really it makes the divide so much bigger.
I
And
mean,
You're right.
I'm
creates that
pretty
extra
sure.
tension.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that shit with Johnny Depp's wife definitely kind of fucked her career. I don't know.
Now,
That was
I don't
rough.
know. You can still get roles.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think
100%.
that-
90%.
No, no, no.
like,
I'm saying
actors, like-
I know it's possible. Like I don't know if she's gonna get shit though.
I mean, directors don't care. Like, just,
Oh well,
Yeah.
God, yeah. No, of
they care about
course.
their bottom line. But
Like,
But see, but they do. I mean, I'd like to. I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
look at
weird. I feel
James
like they
Gunn.
would care about what the public says.
No, but like, look at James Gunn though. You know, he got canceled, right? You know, and for all those weird jokes he made about like the 3-year-old peeing on his head and stuff. But like, people were like, "Well, these are just jokes," and then now he's rehired. He's
Yeah.
working on the new Guardians of the Galaxy stuff
yeah,
right now.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? A majority of people that get quote canceled, a lot of them have nothing happen to their careers, right? And like a lot of them are fine, but some people aren't. Do you want to know what the
Yeah.
one common thing is about the people who aren't fine? Specifically on like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
What is it?
They apologize. They admit that they were wrong. Here's like I found this super interesting, bro.
Wow.
The number one way to not get canceled via cancel culture is to never admit you were wrong.
That actually makes 100% sense to me.
Because
I think that just shows how smooth brained these people are.
exactly. Because
I
if
think
you
it just shows
let
that
the
they
dust
fire
blow-
blanks, and once they find out one hits, then they're like, "Oh shit!" and then they actually dive on you, and then you're actually fucked.
Yeah. If you just say like, bro, like let's say that like James, completely arbitrarily, like let's say that James and Jackson are both accused of sexual misconduct. Okay. James comes out with an apology statement, like a 15 Twitter thread long apology statement, right? Saying like, oh, how much you're like terrible and like, what I did was wrong or whatever. And everybody leaves your company, bro, right? And like everyone just like fucks off. But Jackson says that there's going to be an internal, like a quote, third-party investigation and they're going to find out if anything was wrong, right? 3 months later, investigation concludes, no sexual misconduct found. Jackson walks away a free man. Guarantee you nobody on Twitter cares anymore. But James, oh, he fucked. Like, situation one, you get canceled. I just find that so...
No, that's actually
Like,
very fascinating.
It's
No, but
so
also
insane.
one thing I want to note about that though is that that's accurate, but it's also not just apologies though. You know, if
It's
you were to
any
make
form
that
of written confession is the thing. If you admit that you did it, you're
Here's
done.
the thing though, he could have made a 15 tweet long thread just saying I didn't do it. I hate all of you. You suck. Nothing would happen. Because the thing is, once you give validity to the claims, people are so ready to doubt and so ready to not do research because it's passive. Nobody wants to go onto Twitter and then start Google searching. Oh my God, did he actually do the crime? What are the records? Let me read the whole thing. Nobody cares that
Exactly.
much.
Yeah,
Nobody
it
cares
really
that much.
is.
What that
If you
study
say-
shows, though, 100%. Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, if you say you didn't do it, people are so likely to believe you. It's dumb. It's really dumb.
Mhm.
You know, it's not like an issue of people being stupid or smooth brained. That's not what it is. It's just people don't care, right? Like I don't care enough about bum CEO sexually harassing somebody. It's bad. It's a bad thing. But I personally have no attachment to it. I don't really care. I'm not going to know that it happened. It doesn't affect me in any way. I don't care what he does with his company, right? Because there are a lot of bad people. So why am I supposed to be the one paragon of justice to say this person should get dethroned? Hurrah! You know, it's like I don't care that much, so I'm not gonna do all that research. I'm not gonna put my big opinion out there and be like, well, everybody needs to know. It doesn't matter that much. And that's how a lot of these things go. And it's the sad reality of it. You know, some things like where people are actual pedophiles. You know, unless like somebody actually reports them to the FBI and they get actually arrested. If they just say like, it doesn't matter, I don't care, or like I was a dumb kid or something, like I've changed, I don't really care that much. Right? Or just not bring it up at all, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
I mean, I think one thing this study showed 100% is just people's mindset. Like, I definitely think it gave a glimpse in just the mindset of these people when they throw these claims and they just don't give a shit. It's all just blanks. It's literally just throwing shit, and I don't even know if they care whether or not it sticks or not.
I don't.
But they just like throwing it out there.
I don't think that's the case at all, though, because the people who are like, "Well, I got sexually harassed by this person, but I was afraid to come out," right? Like that's a very different story than I'm going to cancel this person because you're making them sound malicious. You are. And I don't think that those people are inherently being malicious. They're just defending themselves. They're doing what they think is justice, okay, to themselves. All right. Like if you got sexually harassed, I'm pretty sure you'd want the person who harassed you to be punished. You know?
Well, yeah, no. Well, I'm talking about the people. Like I'm just talking about the random Twitter people.
You mean the ones that like hop onto this?
Yeah.
Well,
I think I used a bad example for the canceling, but like. You know what I mean? Like, in just any form of cancellation, bro, like, it doesn't matter if it's, like, sexual harassment. Like, that's something different because that's, like, hard evidence, right? And, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But, like, let's say that you got accused of, like, I don't know.
I guess saying something racist online?
Sure.
Like
I mean, like, it's just, like, grooming kids. Fuck it, bro. Grooming kids. Like,
that's also a crime. That's also a crime.
Bro, I don't know. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like... Maybe being racist
online is probably a really good example for this because you're right. Like it characterizes it because being racist isn't illegal, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's the fact that it's legal or not. I think it's just people don't care. Like, if you just let something go long enough, people will stop caring.
Well, that's because we're inundated.
Well, what I'm trying to say is they don't really care in the first place when they fucking say it in the beginning. That's why if you just don't say anything, they just leave it go. And then once you answer, then you validate it, and then they really attack you.
It
really sinks.
I don't think that's the case at all, though. I think that they care when they say it, but because we live in such like a mass media culture with the internet, right? It's just everything moves so fast that people are going to start caring about something else, you know? It's not that people don't necessarily care, you know, because like they do. It's just that people don't have that big attention span to keep looking at that. You know, they don't keep thinking about it.
Yeah, that's
they forget.
It.
And they move on to something that they think is important. All those people who are talking about like earthquakes in Malaysia and fires in Busan, those people are talking about these for a couple of minutes, right? Like in terms of their lives, they like make a post about it. Like, this is so sad. Please donate to this GoFundMe. You know. Then a week or two, they're not spreading that message anymore. You know, it's the same thing with the pseudo activism. You know, people are activists in the moment, but like in reality, they're not really anything.
Because people don't have the drive or the willpower to see things through like that. But no, I don't know. I just found that interesting about cancel culture is that, like,
that is very interesting.
Yeah, people that actually admit fault or apologize are the ones who ends up getting truly canceled, and that kind of shows, like, what kind of society we live in. Is like the cancel culture really just punishes the good people, in quote, like the people that actually have like consciences and stuff like that. To like because the ones that admit that they were wrong and try to apologize and atone for what they do end up getting hurt the most in terms of like being, I don't know, like deplatformed or like having a large portion of like
because by doing that you're keeping everyone's attention on you longer.
Well, not even that, but that's part of it, but it's also just like admitting you're wrong is like makes a lot of people hate you more, as if you just don't say anything and let people like leave people to their own devices. But I don't know, it's interesting. That's my topic.
That's your topic for the day.
That's my topic for the day. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Cancel culture and say that you're wrong is a bad choice.
Exactly. So if any of us ever get canceled and we don't say anything, you now know why.
We're trying to save our ass.
Yep.
I don't know. That's tricky. I don't really know if... I don't know. That's
saying
just
nothing is the best thing you can do. Just literally be as vague as possible. Say nothing. That's why you haven't seen Carson say anything since he got, quote, canceled.
Well, there's a 50-50 he's having a mental breakdown. The guy's super unstable, so I don't...
Yeah,
he might be saying he's crying right now.
Yeah, he could just be in his fucking bag.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's playing the long con, he's doing the right thing. But
No, but I feel like by saying that you're like discouraging coming out with an apology, and that
yes,
shouldn't be the case.
because no, 100%.
if you want to
James-
apologize, you
James,
should though.
you're fucking like
You're literally you're telling people like, nah, don't apologize.
100%, because that's the thing though. Like
Yeah,
as soon as you
that's-
apologize on the internet, bro, you're done. Like you
Yeah,
can't do
but
anything.
James,
You can't come back.
Let me pose a better
Is
world
it
around
bad?
before you
Okay, hold on. Is it bad that I'm saying that? Yes, but that's just the world that we live in. Like this is
No.
the society that we have been thrust.
That's
into.
one argument. That's one argument.
Society.
Totally. That's one argument. The whole "this is our society, this is so sad" argument. But here's a more positive argument, though. Let me put this to you. So a lot of the people that end up apologizing have, they have the morals and the brain to apologize. You think that's a good thing, but those people are the ones that get canceled. They don't make more content, right? So, okay, there's something wrong about that, isn't there? Though the good people that are actually apologizing and willing to self-improve are no longer making content. They no longer have a voice. Shouldn't we encourage people, instead of apologizing, to just work on themselves and to just be better people? They can't do that to get canceled. They
Preach.
can't do that if they get a platform. They
Say
have no
it
chance.
for all the people in
They
the
have-
back.
They have no
Say it
chance.
louder.
You can't just be like, well, you're discouraging apologizing. If apologizing is the key to kicking people off a platform, I'd hope people don't apologize. Honestly, don't. Instead, just recognize your actions. It's not always about these apologies. Saying sorry doesn't fix problems. It doesn't. It never does. It never will. Right? A building burns down. Well, the idiot that caused the toaster fire isn't going to be like, sorry, and the building's just going to build itself again. All right? It's a burnt building. We just have to understand our faults, move on from them, and that can totally be silent. All right? That can totally be silent. As long as they don't, make that same mistake again or do the same thing that they were doing wrong, who are we to just like kick them off the platform? Who are we to govern their lives like that? Do what you want, right?
Yes,
And
right.
don't
But at the same time, who are we to tell them they're in the wrong for wanting to apologize? If you want to apologize, just apologize.
We're not saying that they're wrong for apologizing. We're saying statistically save your ass.
Well, yes, but you're implying you're saying that's the wrong move.
Yes, because if you want to keep making content, don't apologize. But, I will
what
say,
I'm saying is, if you want to, go ahead.
no.
If you want to apologize,
I mean, if you apologize, that's essentially admitting your career's over. Like, if it's a big enough cancel, like, you're done.
Yeah, but I mean, there are such things as apologies working out. It's not like it's
Very
100.
rarely. Very rarely. The only one that I
Well,
can think of in recent time is
A lot of those
Pyrocynical.
aren't necessarily. A lot of those times aren't necessarily cancels. Pyrocynical's cancel was weird
Yeah.
because Pyrocynical was also helped by it being ambiguous and him having like a weird, like having his fan base being really
Weird.
rabid about it. Right.
Although one thing I will say though is I don't think that like Twitter should hold because if you really think about the ages of the people that are making content, I don't know if we touched on this in episode 0 when we were talking about like getting started on like YouTube and Twitch and shit like that.
Oh, we didn't.
But
No, we definitely-
a lot of the people that are making content in this day and age and like that are popular are around our age, right? Anywhere from 18 to 21 or 22, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And kids do. I use the word kids here really like loosely, but like younger people make a lot of stupid mistakes, right? And they're still working themselves out and finding themselves. You really can't expect these people to be the paragon of like humanity, right? You can't expect them to be held to these high standards, and it really sucks because Twitter holds people to these impossible standards, and
I think it's just social media in general, though.
social media, but especially like people that are in the limelight for content creation, right? Like they have to be
'cause
these
the
perfect versions of themselves that just
I
don't
mean,
exist.
Look, but here's the thing. A lot of these kids that are on social media are also echoing just everything they hear, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
you say that 18 was your lower limit, but it's more like 14. It's more like 14.
I mean, yeah,
14 's
to
the
be
lower
fair, I'm
limit.
talking about people that are kind of like old enough to be canceled, though. Like,
14-year-olds can get canceled though.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
14-year-olds.
Anybody can. Here's the issue: is that because you're in the internet, right? Like, sure, is it dumb to hold kids to this moral high standard? Yeah, but you're on the internet, right? Even if you made that dumb decision, one dumb decision leads to another, of course. And if you're a kid, you're not thinking about these morals. You're not thinking about these things, right? You're not thinking about appearing well online. But everyone sees you. And when somebody gets canceled, when it gets trending on Twitter, more people than just their audience see it. More people than just the 14-year-olds see it. 32-year-olds, 50-year-olds see it. And they're going to hold anybody to those their values, their mixed values that are more strict than the looser values of younger generations, right? And like as the reach expands further and further, maybe a news media picks up on it, right? And they write articles on the situation. Well, now an even older audience is looking, right? You can't just be like, well, Twitter, because Twitter is too many audiences. It's too many people. Right?
I feel like I'm using Twitter as like, because pretty much people only get canceled on Twitter. Like, you really don't get canceled anywhere else. I mean, if the YouTube commentary channels get a hold of you, then I mean, like, sure, maybe, but like...
Yeah, I mean, but they're just an echo of Twitter.
Yeah, they don't really cancel people.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But Twitter ends up being this essential scapegoat, like, Twitter. But you're saying
the
to
internet.
like,
yeah.
You're saying to too many demographics at once, right? Like, you can't hold all those demographics to the same thing because they're just different. They all work differently. If somebody got canceled within their community, then you might see a bigger charge. But because cancel culture ends up spreading to this humongous community, that's partially why it has no traction, because a lot of people just see it and are like, ugh, whatever, right? And a lot of people that see it do take it seriously, but it's just like the number of people that see it is still way too high for there to be any like one conclusive opinion,
Yeah, I get you. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten off track to the point, to the scope of what I wanted to talk about, like cancel culture. But yeah,
I don't even know where we started. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Culture in general.
I mean, it's just cancel culture in general.
Derailed pretty quickly.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Cancel culture, it didn't really derail. I mean, we're still good.
It didn't derail. It just expanded beyond the scope of what I wanted to talk about. But that's fine. It was a good discussion. I wanted to keep it small scale in terms of cancel culture, not like how cancel culture festers, but more so.
Then we started talking about society.
Society. This has been a crime society.
We can't help it. It's society.
We're gamers and Gamergate.
Exactly.
Gamers are oppressed by society.
We can't help but talk about it.
Let's go for a lighter topic. Ninja. That guy.
What about him?
Have you forgotten about him? He said that he said in a recent interview something that's gotten a little bit of controversy going on.
Oh, do tell.
He said parents should parent their kids, and it's not my job to teach kids about racism and white privilege. What do you guys think?
Oh no! Oh no! He's baiting me. He wants me to shout from the rooftops.
Because the controversy right now is that, well, Ninja is just like deflecting, that he has a humongous reach, and if he doesn't talk about these things, then it's gonna be stupid, right? Like he still has a responsibility.
No, I don't think he does though.
Hold on, wait.
Can I get
the nuclear opinion out of the way?
Well, what this does, I mean, what this debate really opens up into is: are creators responsible for their audience? Are they in some way responsible?
I have. Can I have the talking stick?
Let's launch the nuke.
All right, I want to launch the nuke, bro.
Hit the red button.
Here we go. I'm hitting the red button on the desk, and y'all are really gonna flame me in the comment section for this.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's anyone's job to talk about racism and white privilege. I really don't think that. I think, like, all right, again, don't hate me for this.
Lower the pitchforks, people. Hold on.
Yeah. I really don't think that it's anyone's, like, if you want to use your platform as a microphone or as like a megaphone for certain issues, go for it. If that's what you believe in and you want to use your platform for that, by all means. But I do not think that there should be any expectation of people to speak out against things if they themselves don't believe in it, and they don't have to tell you that they don't believe in it because it's their goddamn business. Don't expect people that you like and that you like look up to have the same opinions as you and to use their platform to echo other opinions like that, right?
I don't even think that's that nuclear. I do agree to an extent. I 100% don't think it's Ninja's job
I will
to say
take it
those
a
things.
step further and say.
Oh, wait, all right, hold
He's
on.
doubling down.
Hold
I
on,
will take it a
where's he
step
going?
further and say that people should use their platforms to people are very scared about using their platforms to say things because of public opinion. I will go as far as to say that I think
Use
that
it to embrace race. All right, never mind.
Wait, hold
All right,
on.
what are you going to say?
Wait, bring up the pitchforks.
Yeah,
Hold
wait
on.
a second. Bring out the pitchfork. I think that people should use their platforms to actually oppose certain ideas. Like, I don't think that people's platforms should be all sunshine and rainbows about we should equality, whatever. Pick any topic that you think is all happy, good, and lucky. I think that people should use their platforms to open up real conversations and let people of opposite spectrums talk about their ideas in that sense.
No, I mean,
I will
I
drop
don't
that
think
mic.
that at all. I don't think that at all. That second point you made, I don't think that at all. I think people should use their platforms just to echo their own views because it's their platform. Well, I don't think they should encourage.
I think that's fair enough.
If they don't want to, if they want to be a debate channel, what's his face?
Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Okay.
I
if
mean,
you want to be a debate channel like Destiny, go for it. But if you don't want to, it's fine. But also, I think people have a right to be neutral. That's super important. A right to be completely removed from all of that. People end up putting responsibility on what they see as I guess any sort of prominent figure. But I think that celebrities themselves don't have any responsibility to manage their audience because you can't control your audience. And, a lot of people don't seem to understand this. Some people can control their audience, right? Like politicians can actively control their audience. But, a gaming YouTuber cannot control their audience that well. As long as you don't put your opinions out there, right, and you keep them to yourself, then, you should be fine. I don't think that you should be forced to put any opinion out there and to educate anybody on anything unless you so choose, right? Ninja saying it's not my responsibility is a bit brazen, but I do think that he's right. Parents should parent their kids. Parents.
I mean, look
should
at the end of the day, he's a content creator. That is his channel. He does not. He does
Yeah.
not have to
Wait, I
be
actually
your
have a
parent
question, though.
or your educator. That is
What's
not
up?
what he's doing.
What was the context of the question? Was the interview why don't you
Yeah,
speak
that's
up
what I
on X, Y, and Z? What was the context behind the question?
Well, because
I'm pretty sure it was just
It
like
was
because he
about-
has
it was
this
about-
reach.
No.
So
Well,
he should.
yeah, that was partially it, but it was about toxicity, and he thinks that.
Well, he was toxic himself, so I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
don't
Like,
get me wrong.
imagine these
Ninja.
people if they saw how Ninja
He was-
started. You know,
He was asked, what could be done to mitigate the inflammatory comments, made in chats and video games and stuff.
Oh,
He
okay.
said parenting, right? When he expanded on this, he brought up the idea that it is a parent's duty to make their kids, into moral people and to good people, not the people they look up to. And I agree to some extent.
yeah, that's honestly fair. I'll
And
give
I think-
Ninja that.
I think that parents should not let their kids on the internet when they're young. We see stan culture, we see mob mentalities, we see echoes,
Especially not
echoes.
now. Like, certainly not in today's climate. Like,
Yeah,
do not
it's
introduce them to that shit.
Right now, it's not a good time to have your kid on the internet. Your kid should know better. We have a lot of antisocial kids coming up because of their use of the internet, and there are these weird dynamics that are super foreign to me, like group chat etiquette. What the fuck is group chat etiquette? I don't know.
Like, bro, I
Right.
just see a
Right.
4-year-old swiping on a tablet. I'm like, oh, he's long gone.
Yeah, no.
So,
Once I
like,
see
if
that,
you-
like,
He's a lost case.
if I see a 2-year-old crying because he doesn't have a phone in his hands,
It's like, you got
over.
games on your phone? No. About to punch you in your bitch ass head. Get away from me.
I think that's a little different than what I'm getting at, though. I think kids should be disconnected from the internet, but not necessarily tech, right? Because tech is a humongous part of our world right now. Kids should be able to use tech, but just in a limited sense, not the internet, right? They
Right.
don't need to be internet savvy because the internet is a very social place. Kids do not need to be that social, right? Kids who end up being that social get grouped.
Well, I think if you introduce them to the internet, inherently they're just going to get exposed to all that other shit.
Well,
Like,
hold
it's
on.
just a domino
I
effect.
actually have
no.
I have an interesting question to pose though.
Yeah, what's up?
if you don't expose kids to the internet at a young age, how will that affect their morals growing up if you're not exposing them to the internet? Like you know what I mean? Like how at what point do you say you're old enough to understand this and allow it to shape some of your morals growing up?
Look, let me explain this. Let me explain at least my thinking, because that's a really good question. And what I think the best answer to that is like, if you don't expose your kid to the internet, they become, because humans are social animals that crave social interactions.
Of course.
They're going to become more responsive to the immediate community around them. The kids in their school, their parents, their teachers, the people that they meet, because they're not meeting people online, right? That's the key thing. They're not meeting people online. They're not meeting people anonymously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you give kids the access to the internet at a young age, they end up learning to become attached to those weird profile pictures instead of just like naturally being attached to only people, right? Whereas people who haven't been on the internet from a young age know the very obvious disconnect from that stupid idiot behind the profile picture.
So you're telling me
Right.
that's why I like big booty anime bitches in my profile pictures?
Yeah.
Maybe, but like a lot of the social interaction they end up seeking and they can find on the internet instantaneously might be a bad thing for them, right? Because might become too used to anonymous interaction like that, where you just talk to anybody
Mhm.
everywhere with no real consequence. Okay, so you get two spectrums where kids, either cannot interact in real life because it's like, well, they don't understand what it's like to be face to face, or kids that are brazen and will talk to anybody and don't care what happens because they think there's no consequence, and then can't handle any real consequence when it does happen, like getting beat up for a prank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So a lot of that comes down to like forming tact, right? Because these social cues that you get when you meet somebody face to face are still prevalent in text. They're minor. It's hard to detect them, but they're there, right? And like people needing like tone indicators and stuff. I mean, some people with disability, I get it, but a lot of people who just don't have that disability but can't read a room, it's like,
Oh, like James.
well, that's
Excuse
because
me?
like that's because they
You
never
heard.
Yeah,
It's
you
part
heard what's up.
never learned how, right? Like it's a formative thing when they're like a little kid. That's like one of the things you form as a child, right? That ability to like read people and read a room and understand people. And like building that is super important. And you can't do that if you never physically meet anybody, right?
Mhm.
I don't think cameras are good for this because, cameras don't fully convey body language. They lack depth and the quality is not always the best. So it's like you're not getting that same experience, right? So I feel like, more closely answer your question, like what's that age and what does it mean to not be on the internet at a young age? Well, I think it means that you're better at interacting with people because you actually do end up interacting with physical people. And the right age, it varies from person to person, but it's like when you can like tell that a kid has formed some sort of values, some sort of morals, I think it's okay to expose them somewhat to the internet,
Mhm.
right? Because when a kid stops like seeking ideas and like being a sponge, there's like a transition. You notice it. And I think at that point, when they stop being a sponge, is the best time to put them on the internet because now they're able to make and form opinions slightly differently than just taking opinions. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's kind of like a more all or nothing thing. Like you either don't expose them at all, or you just fucking give it to them. Because I feel like if you just give them a taste, they're just gonna want to crave more, and it's
I'm
just a
not saying-
domino effect
I'm
to
not saying give
all
them a
that
taste.
bullshit.
I was talking about tech earlier. I was like, let them play Candy Crush on your phone, but offline. Like they don't know the face.
I mean, yeah. At that point, it's just a little. Yeah. At that point, it's just a game.
letting a kid play with an NES, right, where there's no internet connection is fine. It's just a game. It's just mental stimulation.
Or
Yeah,
for
yeah.
entertainment.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. But like when you bring the social aspect into it is when things get muddy. Like don't do that. I think that's what people should avoid. Allowing
Yeah.
their kids to be social. Giving kids social media is a super big issue. I think it's stupid,
Mhm.
right? I think it's not smart to give little kids social media. A 7-year-old on social media should not be a thing. I don't want to see a 7-year-old on Twitter.
I'll see like 8-year-olds with a phone. I'm like, what the fuck is this world coming to?
I actually have an
Exactly,
interesting. I have another. I would like to pose another interesting question, but this time to Jackson. I want you to build off of this.
Include him. He's been silent.
I know. So what Rishi was saying earlier, right? Do you think that kids, if kids are allowed on the internet, what percentage of like how much direct involvement should their parents have? Should they tell them like to avoid XYZ, or do you think that you should let them explore at their own pace? Like, how much should the parent be involved in the internet exploring culture?
Yeah, this really turned into like a psychological thing, but like part of that is like either way you're ruined because you say, hey, don't go on this website, and they're like, well, why can't I go on this website? And they're going to explore either way, unless if you have hard restrictions and like on
That's
the
what I'm
device
getting
itself,
exactly.
you
I mean,
lock them
and
out
in this
of it,
day and age,
they're
it's
gonna-
actually-
they're
It's
gonna
either
show
all
you.
or nothing. It's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying.
No, but like that's what I'm saying. Like let's say that like Rishi's correct, right? That like at the point where kids start forming their morals, they actually like are allowed on the internet. At that point, how much should the parent be involved directly?
I mean, I would say at that point, because once they're getting curious about all that shit, just let them on there and try and figure shit out.
So you're of the opinion of laissez-faire, essentially.
Sure.
He's
Like,
I-
because my all or
I
nothing
agree.
philosophy doesn't really apply to like games, because that's barely anything, right? You're just playing fucking Candy Crush. But when it's like you're giving them access to the free web,
So you're telling
if you
them to
just
go on-
if you just restrict shit, it's just going to make them more curious, and they're just going to get to that shit anyway eventually.
so you're telling them
Right.
that you just want
So
kids
either
on Pornhub
don't
at
do
the
it
age
at
of
all,
10,
or just
right?
fucking let them have everything and fucking figure it out.
Here's something important. With restrictions, the kids are going to learn danger, right? They're going to associate it with danger. It's going to be inherently, like they're going to have more caution themselves because they were caught.
It's just going to make them curious.
Even if they're curious, they're still going to know that it's
If
bad.
anything,
They're
it's going
gonna
to
know it's
make it
bad.
more appealing to them.
I mean, James, like, keep it a buck. Like, if you go on a website, right, and you click, like, let's say that you're, like, I don't know, like, 10, right? 10 seems to be
Yeah.
the going age. And you click
Sure.
on a website, right, and it, like, a
Mhm.
big red X pops up, and it's like, warning, do not continue to cite external, like, whatever. Like, the message that pops up when you're about to get phished, essentially.
Sure. That feeling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, imagine how a kid must feel to that, bro.
No. Well, what I'm
know
saying
what I
is
mean?
some could
Like-
associate that with danger and back off, but others could just pique their interest even more.
I feel
Like,
like
it's
you
not a
have
set in
little
stone
faith.
thing.
I feel like you have little faith in the brain computing power of a child. I mean, it's pretty low.
Well, you
but
think they're
they
well,
usually
if anything, that's
associate-
you, because you think they're all going to think the same thing.
No, not really.
They're
though.
not-
Like,
they're
I
not
mean,
all
how
gonna
many-
associate it with
when you're
danger.
when you're like a kid, right? What do you associate red octagons with, right? Like,
Okay, well, if they're 10, I don't think they're that dumb.
no, but I'm saying though, like the entire
In general.
time in their life, they've been known to associate like certain colors with certain things. Like green means go, red means stop, right? Like.
Yes, no.
I
I don't
think
get me
that at
wrong.
some
I do
point
agree
that-
with what you're saying, but I'm saying there's more to it. Like, it's not just set in stone like that. Like,
I
it definitely
know,
could just
I know,
pique their
I know.
interest.
And I get what you're saying, but I feel
even
like
then,
Like, you have those
But even
chaotic
then,
kids
I
that'll
feel
see
like-
that and then just be like, oh, well, fucking, I just want to go here even more
like
now.
I get what you're
Because
saying.
once you
but
pique
I
their
feel like
curiosity, then it's case. Then they're not going to stop. Like, they're not always going to
Well,
back
so wait,
off
James,
like that.
so you're telling me
Maybe it's-
that you're
no,
dealing in
maybe it's a
absolutes,
child.
you Sith.
Maybe it's a child, right? But even then, like once they get older, though, once they mature, that'll still be in the back of their mind. Like this was wrong then, and I did
Yeah,
it
like
because I
it'll
want.
be in like their back, their
Different.
conscious kind of thing.
Like when they grow up though and become more mature, they'll still be smarter because of it. Because now this is associated with danger still with them. Like it's still.
Yeah, but then it
wrong.
depends on what was actually blocked in the first place. Because if, like, Twitter was blocked because the parents didn't want them on that shit, well, then it's like,
But think about it this
it's
way,
not like
right?
inherently bad.
Like,
So
let's
then
say
they're
that
just
you
like, well, what the
limit
fuck?
their domains, right, to like most everything except for like the fringes of the white web, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
okay,
because then
let's-
it's like,
let's
oh,
say
well,
that you
Twitter
give
was
them-
blocked, but
No,
it
no,
wasn't
no,
actually
no,
a bad site. So now that I see this other shit is blocked, it might not even be that bad.
Let's say that you have full access to social media, right? But like you're not introduced to it. But like stuff like Pornhub, what's some other bad stuff on like
Hey,
creepy
we not
weird
okay?
websites like gore website, like stuff like that, like weird shit gets banned, right?
The back room.
Sure.
The back rooms, you know what I mean? Like the very fringes of the white web before you start going into like the bottomless hole that is like some of the shit that you can find on the dark web and then the deep web.
Scary.
Like stuff like that. I mean, like I feel like but then we start getting into the discussion of
Yeah, no,
Pavlov,
because
and then
see,
now we're
when
conditioning
you're a
people, but,
kid,
like,
banning a porn site is fine. You just want to protect that innocence. I don't want them to look at that. But when you get older, it's like, oh, it was just a porn site. It was fucking fine. So then you see that shit, and it's not like you associated with danger because it was never danger in the first place. You know?
yeah,
It was just like something your parents didn't really want you to see. Because
But, I mean, at that point-
titties. But now it's like, I fucking love tits. Now, who gives a shit?
apparently, no, I'll stop.
Uh,
No, but I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like at that point, where do you draw the line, right? Because I feel like you can say that
at
because
that
you're
point, it's just an
adult.
individual basis.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel
I
like
think that's what this was from the get go.
But here's something important though, is that even if they're like, well, it wasn't dangerous, they'll still know it's weird, right? Like you'll still understand that it's weird, right? You're gonna still associate something partially negative with it because it is partially negative, you know.
I was about to,
because
like-
because then people could just view porn as like a completely normal thing.
but I
No,
but James,
that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
that you're
You want that
thinking
to be
about
the
it.
case, like that's what I'm getting at though. At the end of the day, you're going to, if you don't restrict them at all, they're going to think that X is normal. That's what we don't want them thinking. We don't want them thinking that standing dream is normal, right?
Yeah,
That's what we don't
ultimately,
want.
at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I mean, like James, you're
They're
thinking
going
about
to
it
learn
from the
what's
mentality.
weird. They're going to think it's weird and different. They're not going to think it's the norm. They're not going to want to immediately copy it because they know it's not normal, right? Because somebody told them in the first place that it's not normal. Their introduction to this topic was
Yes, but
it's
if they
not
still
normal.
think it's normal, then it's not going to change
They
anything.
won't. What I'm saying is that they won't think it's normal. Nobody ends up thinking it's normal. There are things that you do that you don't think are normal because you were never taught to do them. All right?
I mean, in the long run, I really don't even think it changes much if they still want to do it.
No, but here's the thing, though, James. You're thinking about it from the view of someone who's already like matured enough and like, I'm gonna say something, and this I think is gonna be the greatest compliment you'll ever hear from me. You
Oh,
know
let's
what's
go.
right and wrong,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Yeah.
have that distinction of this is okay and this isn't. And
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just in that example, like your parents will be like, "No, this is wrong," but then you find out later on, like, no, it really wasn't wrong.
But it's wrong for a child, right? Like when you were 10, you weren't beating your dick to fucking dick acrobatic 8, right? Like you're not.
Now, I
doing
do
that.
get what. No, don't get me wrong. I do get what you're saying. I just think for this topic especially, I mean, it's definitely just on an individual basis.
I mean, yes, it is, but I feel like
Because
at
if they
that
really,
point-
because if they really want to see the shit you were blocking from, I mean, it's like, well, whatever.
Well, I mean,
and they're
most
gonna
kids
say
are
it.
just smart
But
enough to figure
even
that
if they
out.
see it, they're like, well, it was blocked for a reason.
And
You're not
even
gonna
well,
for a reason.
they might not even see that because they're just like, oh, well, this is fine.
I think
No,
you
but they'll
just have
still
authority
they'll
issues,
still see that it was
James.
blocked for a reason. Yeah, James, like you think it's cool to sleep in your jeans, right?
Which
I
it's
do.
not. Which it's not.
You do,
Yes.
yeah, you're right.
Listen, that's another topic, but I do.
Yeah, bro,
No,
I'm
no,
really about to
wait.
pull up that tweet on
Wait,
stream
wait,
right now,
wait,
bro.
wait,
We're
wait,
the
wait,
fucking
wait,
recording
wait,
right now,
wait.
bro. You can't be doing that
Bro,
shit.
you grew up wearing your jeans, right? You grew up wearing jeans as a kid, right?
I mean, not
Right?
really. I mean, I just kind of wore them
No.
later on.
You never wore jeans as a kid?
I mean, not really.
So your parents
No.
told you to never sleep, and never told you
No.
not to sleep in jeans.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I was never even like, well, in that case, I was just never told it. I just,
Which is the
inherently, I
problem.
just think they're
problem.
not bad enough to where you can't sleep in them.
Right, like you saw other people wearing jeans as a kid and you thought they were normal, right? But let's say for some
Not
reason
really.
your parents barred you from wearing jeans, right?
Sure.
Like they were like, the jeans are bad. You would
that
like
would make me want to wear them even more.
No.
Yes, but you would at least know somewhere in the back of your mind that there are people who think, right? There are people in authority, mind you, that govern the normal, that think jeans are bad. You're gonna
Yes,
be like, well, they're not.
but then when I
but,
get
like,
to wearing jeans, I'll just be like, oh, well, they were all idiots. These are actually fine.
You think that, but wait, James,
That's
do
my
you,
main
do
point.
you remember
Like there's going to be people. There's plenty of people like that. It's like, well, this turned out to be fine.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Years later, but I don't know.
In the
I
moment-
can't say anything
moment
like
they
this
won't
without
know
like
it.
knowing your.
Well, no,
like,
it's just
fucking
every kid is different. Like,
every
that's
kid
just
is
how it
different, and there's no one way to raise a kid.
It's certainly an interesting and that's what makes this interesting. But that's what basically the gist of what I'm saying. It's like everything's different. Like there's no set in stone shit.
No, but I
get
mean,
it,
I feel
but
like there are
general principles. There are general
rules, yeah.
principles that do apply to most kids, if not all of them. Like they will understand that this thing is weird to some extent. Whether or not they think it's weird personally is different than whether or not they know that somebody thinks it's weird, right? Like somebody in authority thinks it's weird, right? You're gonna be like, well, they're an idiot, okay? But that's you forming an opinion now, right? A little kid who would just absorb an opinion shouldn't be exposed to something like that, right?
Yes, but in the
Okay.
case like the genes, it actually isn't weird.
No, but it's like genes are just an arbitrary.
That was just for example.
No, I
Yeah,
know.
arbitrary example.
But I mean, I feel like in the case of stands, I mean, legally, that's not really bad either.
No,
No,
but
but
culturally,
socially
there's a
weird.
difference
Like,
between
learning
cultural
that it's
acceptance
socially
weird.
and like.
Thinking socially it's normal is not a good thing for kids, right? Thinking socially that you should hyperfixate onto a content creator and you can let the content creator determine your life if you're not.
The sad thing it is like socially normal now. Kind of
It's
sucks.
It's not. There are
I
people
mean, to an
reinforcing
The
extent.
vocal minority
No,
does
no.
not speak for the silent
I mean,
majority.
especially with the Dream fucking saying it's perfectly fine.
16 million people thinking standing is okay is not a majority of people in any stretch of the word. Okay, it's
Well,
a
I
lot
never,
of,
I never
like-
said
it's more for,
majority. I'm
like,
just saying
every
there are people
one
that think it's
person.
normal.
yes,
That
but
is a
but
stand, there's,
majority,
like, 10,000
but the
normal
majority is what determines what's normal. The majority is what determines what's normal. You can't be like, well, it's normal now.
I mean,
It's not.
majority in reality, majority probably doesn't even know what the fuck it is.
Exactly. The silent minority does
Silent
not
majority,
speak for this.
or the minority.
The vocal minority does not speak for the silent majority. Like,
Yeah, of course. No, we found that out the hard way a couple times. Yeah.
But they don't determine.
yo,
what's
is
normal,
James
what I'm
about to
saying.
get up on the political soapbox now?
No, we won't go there.
Is James a raging liberal? Is Jackson
stop.
actually a pro-Trumper?
I do
Find
go to
out
Temple.
more at 7. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he doxed
you
himself.
just doxed yourself.
Oh my gosh,
Well, no, actually, this is kind of important because if you see me like mute myself, I'm back in my apartment with my roommates. So if I mute, they're on some head ass shit. So just keep that in mind.
Yo, bring your roommates on guest speakers.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah, I
some guest.
could.
Can we get some
that would
guest
be-
speakers?
But I
on the
mean,
podcast?
yeah, it's
That
just
would be
it's just a
hellish.
fuck scenario. But real quick, just to go all the way back to the Ninja thing where this started, because I just want to put a cap on this real quick, right? If Ninja wants to take up a noble cause and be a part of the solution with his reach and his platform, that's on him. If he doesn't want to though and just wants to play fucking Fortnite, that is
That's
also
not-
fine.
Yeah,
He
that's not
has
on
no
him.
responsibility. He doesn't. Sure, it would, whatever. If you want to say, but it would be the right thing. Who the fuck? It doesn't matter. It's not his job, is what he was saying. And that's fair enough. I'm not going to fault the guy.
I don't think
Who
anyone
fucking
of us
cares?
would disagree with you on that.
Yeah, it's not his fucking job. He could. He doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But
So is that why Ninja was trending?
yes.
I think so. Yeah. I didn't peep.
Also, I was reading more into that. Apparently, he's taking up voice acting. He's making
Yeah,
a
I don't-
transition into that.
Oh
Look,
jeez.
His voice sucks and he looks like a meth addict. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I was just I better not be playing a video game and then he. Oh,
Hear
hey guys,
Tyler
it's Ninja. here.
Blevins.
I don't see enough movement. Like I'm not trying to hear that.
Soldier
But,
number
yeah.
15.
All right,
Tyler
let's
Blevins.
move into an actually lighthearted topic. Short hair or long hair?
Oh God, short hair.
Long hair. On
I think
who,
you were
women
so
or
against
us?
the topic and then you answered.
Wait a second.
I instantly like long short hair.
Ivrishi, in what regards?
Yeah, like
On us?
On people, bro. In
no,
general.
I thought you meant not on the head. I'm like, where are you going?
No, like women or
no,
men.
we're talking about specifically Kiefer in this
Probably
this
women.
scenario.
Whatever you're into, dog. Whatever you're into. This one's for the
whatever you're
audience. Whatever you're into.
Could we run a straw poll? That'd be interesting.
That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
strong pull for the live video that we're making.
we're not
Hey guys, we're live on
live
YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
You could put a straw poll me link in the comments though in the description. That'd be cool. So if there is one, there is one. If there's not. Let us know. Long hair, short hair on your preferred.
Oh wait, what do you guys say?
Long hair.
Long.
Well, Jax, we know his answers. Rishi, what do you say?
we have. Oh my God, we're perfectly divided. 2 short hairs, 2 long hairs. That's crazy.
All right, how about another one? Cute or hot?
Cute.
Cute.
I say
Cute.
cute.
Let's go.
Oh, are we all cute?
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking go.
Let's
I don't think it's
James
hot.
is
I don't
over
think
there in
it's
his
hot.
own world.
You love to see it. You really do.
He's like, yeah, let's go.
All right. Okay. Now that little intermission's out of the way,
Tall
anybody have
girl
any
with
other?
a fat ass.
Okay. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah, we will go there. We will go there.
Sexually
Hunter.
identify or sexually objectifying women, or actually, you know what else?
Hey, we bring out the
Okay.
picture.
Anyway, Jackson, what do you want to talk about, dude? We've been neglecting you this whole time.
Dude, there was
What do you wanna talk
a great thing that happened. I'm gonna say it's probably about roughly a week ago. So it's great that this podcast got delayed so that we can tell the full story of this. But there's this one company, right? Kind of a small company. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Microsoft.
about?
They've been under fire recently.
No.
Why is that?
Yes,
Because-
No, this could actually transition to something I want to talk about.
Shut up,
there we
James.
go.
Not everything's about you. What's up?
So Xbox, they made an announcement saying that they're going to double the price of Xbox Gold
Oh, yes.
from $60 to $120 for 12 months.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure they're trying to shove everyone into their Game Pass.
Yep.
I think it's probably what they're trying to do. But
Yes.
What
They've
they-
since rescinded this offer, by the way.
it's funny because at first they got so much flack for it that they were like, oh no, don't worry, it's fine. We're only going to put that for our new audience. Anyone who comes on new is going to have to pay the 120, but anyone right now who already has it, they'll pay normal price. And everyone's like, no, that's stupid. What are you doing? And then
Imagine
like,
getting grandfathered into Xbox Gold. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, they want everyone to go to their Game Pass because that's their new,
and then a few
That's their
days
new
later,
thing.
they just
Well,
rescinded
Game Pass
on
would
it.
include gold. That's the thing with Game Pass, though, is that it doesn't include online access. It includes it had gold on there in their ultimate plan for more money.
Yeah, well, they're just
Not-
making online free.
They're actually
Game Pass?
no. Microsoft is the only.
No, I'm pretty sure they're just making it inherently free.
Xbox is the only platform right now that is the only one that isn't free for online games.
No, everything
Well,
else.
Nintendo also.
Nintendo,
Besides
Sony.
Nintendo.
Sony's been.
Yeah,
No,
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 no.
Sony's free.
Sony went back
No,
to you
Sony-
paying for it,
no,
right?
No,
Sony?
okay, no, I messed up. I said it wrong. It's Xbox is the only company where you have to pay to play online free games. For example, like Warzone, you can play that for free on PlayStation and on PC. But for Xbox, you have to pay in order to play Warzone.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
that's the way it
only-
is now.
They're
I
the
think
only
they're moving
platform
away
that
from
does
that.
that.
I think they said
I'm-
in their rescinding of the double price that they did say something similar.
Yes,
to that.
I'm pretty sure what they're doing, and this is kind of exciting because this gives them a genuine edge over Sony, is they're making basically what is Xbox Gold free, and their paid subscription is going to be the Game Pass, where you just get a bunch of games every week or whatever, every month, however it is.
You
and
know,
that's-
Game Pass is just a library. It's just a library you
Yeah.
pay for. You get to play.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
Sony has had something like that for eons, bro. Ever since like when I bought my PS4 and I bought PS Plus, every month you get 2 free games that you can keep
well, that-
forever.
Mhm.
No.
Right.
Games with Gold also did that. Games with Gold was,
Right,
was
but-
the same thing.
But
Game Pass is not.
But when you now with Sony Plus, and I forget when they started doing this, but it was like 2 or 3 years ago. There's a library of old PS Plus games that you can get, but if you were part of the PS Plus program and downloaded them, then you can keep them forever. But otherwise, as soon as your PS Plus membership runs out, all those games in the library you can't play anymore. But it has a bunch of old retro Sony games too, like I think God of War 1 and 2 is in there. But a bunch of games like that, right? So it's kind of a version of Game Pass with PS Plus, but it's for like older.
It also included game streaming, but it was really bad game streaming.
Yes, this is true. But yeah, no, PS Plus has had something like that for a while.
Yeah, but that's not really what the Game Pass is, because it includes third-party stuff and new stuff.
Yeah,
Whereas
Game Pass is literally just a shit ton of fucking games.
Sony Plus was more of a
Wasn't it like more of a throwback thing?
Sony. It was like a PlayStation exclusive dumping ground for like old games that
Mhm.
people wanted to play sometimes, but not really.
Like the nostalgia
Like-
ones and stuff like that.
If I had my old
it was
PS4,
more
I'd
of
actually
a
put it up
novelty.
right now, but I can't remember what the.
It was more of a
was.
novelty than anything else that came with PS Plus. It wasn't particularly like
Actually, wait, no. That's cap. No. Wait, no, that's cap. It's completely cap. The retro games with PS Plus were only Sony and like only old Sony games, but the PS Plus game catalog came with third-party stuff because I remember one of the first years that I had my PS3, the PS Plus exclusive game was XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Oh hell yeah!
But PS Plus wasn't. You didn't have to pay for online back then. With
No,
PS Plus is the name of the paid thing for Sony. Okay, so you do have to pay for chatting online with PlayStation.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, now you do. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. That gives them a genuine edge over them now because now that's free. Like that's a genuine reason to get Xbox over Sony now. Yeah. I really don't think there was one before. Sony's just had the better library.
Sony's just had the better library and better console for eons. Besides the 360, like eons.
No, like I think I'm not sure. I think X had some hardware pluses, but bro, when it comes to consoles, the library is all that matters.
And Xbox tried going to a fucking like game. Not game media.
They try to go to like a multimedia.
Like they've always had the better exclusives in library, and that's really all that fucking matters. Like look at Nintendo. Like they're not rocking 4K. Fucking, they don't give a shit. But Breath of the Wild sells. You know, who fucking cares?
But that Breath of the Wild 2 kind of going crazy.
Oh, Zelda 2. Oh, I'm gonna choke you next time you see that. It's not even remotely close to what it is.
You were literally the one that said it.
Yes, but it's Hyrule Warriors. You can't just call that Zelda. I'm like, are you talking about the NES game? You're like, no, we're talking about the new Hyrule Warriors. I'm like, what? That's not even close. Bro.
Yeah, that was the whole joke of it.
Yeah, well, it's stupid. Yeah, playing some Zelda too, bro. Oh, on God.
That's a green character with green clothes.
Yo, I gotta say though, because I was talking to my mom a couple days ago.
Oh,
you know,
he has a mom, guys. It's confirmed.
We were talking about fucking oh God, I'm outing myself more and more as the time goes on. But it was funny. But we were talking about like our high school electives that we had,